Welcome back to the 305 Gridiron. On today's show, we're talking about the all-time Miami Dolphins defensive roster. Last week we did offense. This week we do defense. Oh, guess what? Josh is back too. So let's get right into it. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the 305 Gridiron, your source for Miami Dolphins news all season long. My boy Josh, a.k.a. Aqua Aces, joining me once again over here to my left. I'm Anthony Pinzone, and we are here to talk about the all-time Miami Dolphins defense. The cutoff is 1990 because we were both born in 86. 90 feels pretty good. So 1990 to 2025, because 2026 hasn't had a season yet, of course. And I think there's a lot of nice little nuanced pieces on the defense. I know in the offense I had a lot of questions. I had questions around who the QB2 was, right? Like felt like there were three potential options there. The wide receiver was potential options, and the defense is going to be a lot of the same thing. Defensive tackle has question marks. Linebacker, right?
Yeah, it was very hard to like really hone in on the number criteria that we set, where it was like defensive linemen, let's do 2. Linebackers, it was hard. It was real hard.
Yeah, and it's funny, you forget about people, right? Like, I mean, we'll talk about him later on, but there's a cornerback that, you didn't have on the list, and I didn't immediately think of either when I looked at your list, and I was like, yeah, I don't think he's missing anybody. And then I started digging into like past players. I was like, oh shit. Yeah. I can't believe we forgot this guy, right?
Yeah, there's a defensive tackle we're about to talk about, and I totally forgot about until I did a little bit of research right before the show, and I was like, oh shit, wait a minute.
A defensive tackle who's still active, by the way, which is interesting. No, he's not on a team currently.
Is he really? He hasn't retired yet?
Wilkins?
No. The other guy.
Oh yeah. Well, we'll get rid of
it. I don't want to ruin it.
Let's start at defensive tackle. I think that we were to pick 2. And we have 5 names on this list, so
you follow
ADD
rules.
For the win.
Yes. Hey, you know what? It's our show. We make the rules that we don't follow.
So, I think the first spot, the conversation was between Namdekong Suh, who signed a quarterback-esque contract in 2015.
Wild stuff.
And Christian Wilkins, who, of course, went on to sign a lucrative deal of his own with the now Las Vegas Raiders.
Yeah.
When he left.
Incidentally, a free agent.
He is a free agent. He was cut because of weird stuff.
Shower shenanigans.
Well, I think it was because of the way he handled his injury. They wanted him to get surgery. He didn't want to get surgery. Big disagreement. And bada bing, bada boom. Bye-bye. Suh, no stranger to controversy himself, seemed to have regularly been in the news about his on-field play, though, as somebody who liked to stretch the boundaries of what was and wasn't legal.
Yeah, he really liked to, be the name on everyone's tongue, right? Because,
sure did.
There was the stomping incident of, was it Stafford? No, not Stafford. Anyway, I don't
remember who he stomped.
There was a couple of them, actually, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, it probably could have been.
And, but I'll tell you what, when he came in from Detroit, I think he was Detroit's first overall or second, he was the top 3 pick. I can't remember when he was drafted by Detroit. I think it was number 1 overall, if I'm not mistaken, out of Nebraska. Also, if I'm not mistaken. And came in and was the prized free. I mean, like touted as a generational talent. And he was. I mean, he was very, very good and very much ahead of his time for being that big body, fast guy.
Yeah.
And we were a team that was run by Joe Philbin and had no idea between, we couldn't figure out our asses and elbows and couldn't figure out what we were trying to do. And the front office decided to send a 6-year, $114 million contract to Ndamukong Suh. And when he came in, man, I mean, I don't know if you could ever live up to that contract. I really don't. I mean, that's practically impossible, especially for a defensive tackle.
Yeah.
But he was disruptive, and he was an elite run stopper, in my opinion.
Yeah, he was very good. I mean, the problem
Mhm.
was just wasn't much of a team around him, you know?
Yeah.
It was definitely part of our worst years, 2015 to 2017,
Mhm.
which is why I think it was such a big deal that we made such a big contract for a defensive tackle. It's like your team blows. Try building it up before you give $114 million to a defensive tackle.
Yeah.
He did make a Pro Bowl in all 3 years he was with us. I don't know if that was name recognition or because he was actually good, but 21 sacks in 3 years for a defensive tackle is pretty good.
It's pretty spectacular.
Pretty
Yeah.
good. Yeah, I think the guy we were kind of talking about alongside him was Christian Wilkins, though. Christian Wilkins came in as a Dolphins draft pick.
Mhm.
You could call him a tone setter. Very good. Very personable. Really funny guy to watch on like mic'd up and shit like that.
He was a goofball that got under people's skin, and I loved everything about it.
It was great. 4 years with us, 20 and a half sacks, 43 tackles for a loss, 4 forced fumbles, and 6 of those 6 fumble recoveries, and even an interception for the big man.
Yep.
His stat, I know stats aren't everything, and I actually want to talk about that in a sec, but he was one of my favorite players when he was here, just because of how
Mhm.
fun he always looked like he was having fun out there. And I love a player who's out there having fun.
Yeah, he was one of my favorite Dolphins in that span.
Yeah.
Just because he did everything. I mean, you just rattled off his stats: ton of tackles, ton of sacks. He could play really anywhere across the defensive line. And then when they paired him with another player in Sealer, who's still on the team, they made one nasty duo. And it was so
Yeah.
cool to watch this player, coming out of Clemson. We drafted him. When did we get him? 13th overall in the first round in 2019?
Yeah, because we were talking about how we then took Kenneth Grant 13th overall, and that was
Right,
what
right,
Wilkins
right, right.
was. Yeah.
Yeah, right. And then a couple of years later, he's Walter Payton Man of the Year, which is, nothing from a stat standpoint, but a very big honor, right? It
Huge
shows
honor,
you, it's a really big deal. And he finished his career leading up to that massive contract that you alluded to earlier with a career high 9 sacks. I think it was 9.5, 9 or something like that. And I don't know. He was just an all around player. He rushed the passer really well. He stopped the run real well. He held the point of contact real well. He had, speed to power transitions. He had rush moves. He had speed moves. He had power moves. He had kind of a little bit of everything. And it was really cool to have, because irregardless of who you put next to him, he could do what was needed. And that was really cool
Yeah.
to have.
I do think the Raiders may have been hasty on that. We don't know all the details, and I don't know if we ever will. But like Christian Wilkins alongside Max Crosby seems like something
Terrifying.
you'd be willing to wait for.
Yeah.
But apparently
Terrifying.
not. Yeah, but before we get to our DT number 2, I actually wanted to mention before we started, and I forgot. I pretty much just ask how you kind of rated these guys. I think when I was looking at the list, I was thinking of guys who made the biggest impact on me growing
Mhm.
up. Like, it wasn't all stats. Some of it was just like, I really like this guy. He was fun to watch. I
Yeah.
remember him fondly as a kid. Like, yeah, I think a lot of the corners and linebackers we'll get to because of that. But I was
Mhm.
just wondering, like, what your
Yeah,
approach was.
honestly, it was a little bit of everything, and
Yeah.
that's not a cop out. Like I built, I built my list based on who I remember loving to watch or loving to read about or watch highlights on, and just who I thought made an impact at wearing a Dolphins jersey. And
Yeah.
then I pulled all of their stats and then compared them to other historical great Dolphins in their position based on stats, and then moved some around and put some names in that I wasn't overly familiar with because, again, I know you said it on last show when I was out sick, but we're 86 babies. So, when I'm talking about a cornerback from 1991, I like football, but so, I tried to just make sure we accounted for players that deserved their names to be on a list because of their contributions to the league, to whether maybe they're Hall of Famers or maybe they're, multiple winners of something, Pro Bowls, Peyton Man of the Year, stuff like that. And then I realized that I was going down a massive rabbit hole. So I just stopped and said, here's the list. It's all names that I really enjoy. It's all names that I recognize. And then I pass it over to you. And you started mentioning names, and I was like, oh yeah, I forgot about that guy. Oh shit, I forgot about that guy. So here we are with 17 defensive tackles for 2 slots.
There you go. Well, speaking of which, I think, this is a good segue into the first defensive tackle 2 that we're going to talk about, one of 3. Yeah. Tim Bowens, man, played from 94 to 04. So, just kind of halfway in our window there. His stats don't tell the whole story because he was a nose tackle, right? Yeah. And honestly, maybe one of the best nose tackles of all time.
Yeah. I mean, there's a conversation to be had, right? And I think you have to know the era, right? Mm-hmm. So if you're a newer Dolphins fan, I don't know, if you're a younger Dolphins fan, nose tackles are asked to do a lot different things now than they were in the 1990s, right? Yeah. And so the fact that Tim Bowens had over 600 tackles and 23 and a half sacks between, in the 10 years that he was here, 1994 to 2004, that is a different player and a different skill set and a different ask than what our defensive tackles are doing now,
Yeah.
Which makes it incredible.
He headlined a defense that didn't let anybody run on them too, which, starts right there. You don't let the linebackers get touched. He's one of the big reasons that Zach Thomas was as successful as Zach Thomas was.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
If nobody can touch Zach, then Zach gets to do what Zach does. Mm-hmm. And I think, if we had done this show, and I know we are going to give Zach Thomas so many flowers.
Just glazed galore.
We cannot do that without mentioning Tim Bowens.
Right, exactly.
These other 2 are pretty good too, though. One of them's still active. I'm going to skip him for now because we forgot about this other one. At least I completely forgot about him. And when you mentioned him right before the show, I was like, that's right. Yeah. He was great.
Yeah. This is the one I was talking about in the intro.
Yeah, I won't bury the lead. Randy Starks.
Yeah, Randy Stark. Yeah,
I've completely forgot about him, and he was a fantastic defensive tackle for us for 6 seasons or something like that. Mm-hmm. I mean, I can't believe I forgot about him, honestly. And you mentioning him just kind of really brought back so many good memories.
Yeah, and that's a perfect example of how this list was built. When I built my first list and I would sit there and reminisce about the player, and we did it right before we started recording with Randy Starks.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. I don't remember who else was on that defensive line at the time. I actually think Jason may have been.
Is it Paul Soliai? I think was there too.
Yeah, Jason was for a little bit. Paul Soliai. Yeah, was it?
He was a nose tackle.
We didn't have OC, did we? No, we didn't have OC.
No. Mm-mm.
We had somebody else who left who had a weird name like that, though.
I'll look. You filibuster.
Yeah. So over his career with the Dolphins, 229 tackles, 30 and a half sacks, 15 passes defense as a defensive tackle is crazy. 4 interceptions, 4 fumble recoveries, and he went to the Pro Bowl twice. Mm-hmm. He actually went to the Pro Bowl as a defensive end one year and a nose tackle the next, which is crazy. Known for his versatility. As I just mentioned, plays nose tackle and defensive tackle and D tackle. He could play pretty much anywhere in the defensive line, and was our most reliable defensive lineman for that entire 6 years he was here.
Yeah, absolutely. Speaking of the 6 years you were here, you want the list of names? These are going to bring back some memories.
Did he play with Cam Wake?
He did. That was one of them.
Yes, that's the guy.
Yeah. He played with Jason Ferguson.
Okay.
So some of these are but they're fun names to reminisce about. Paul Soliai.
I remember Paul.
Kendall Langford. Remember Kendall Langford?
Kendall Langford. Yeah, that was the guy I was thinking of. I think he went and played for the Giants after us.
Yep. Philip Merling. Remember him?
Yeah. He was a draft bust. Yeah,
yes, he was. Yikes. Tony McDaniel. Jared Odrick out of Penn State.
Jared Odrick, another draft bust out of Penn State, 2009, I think.
Yep. I looked Jared Odrick up. Hold on. Where were his stats? 129 tackles, 16 and a half sacks, 11 pass defense, 1 interception, 3 forced fumbles in 4 years.
His stat line is a lie, though. He wasn't very good.
Olivier Vernon, who I think I liked him more than most.
Vernon wasn't bad.
He wasn't blow your mind off.
That was the thing about that defense from that time period, though, is that we had so many not bad guys that they looked pretty good.
Yeah, exactly. And when, you don't have anyone else to push you, you look good because you get all the playing time. Here's one I won't. Cameron Wake is the next name, but we already talked about him, and we'll talk about him in a little bit. Deion Jordan played with.
Oh my God.
And then a couple of ones like Derek Shelby, AJ Francis, so on and so on.
We really Derek Shelby, God, we really swung and missed on so many defensive linemen during that time period. I mean, you mentioned Philip Merling, you mentioned Jared Odrick, Deion Jordan.
Yeah,
Jesus.
And look, for as much as I really love Paul Soliai, the first thing that I think of when I think of Paul Soliai was his rookie training camp. He had a cavity, and he went into the locker room and ripped his tooth out, stuck gauze in it, and went back to practice. That's literally the first thing I think of. So that should tell you. I mean, he had a hell of a career. I mean, not a hell of a career.
I don't think I knew that story, and now I don't. Yeah. I want to take it back. I want to unhear it.
Sorry, but Paul Soliai 4.5 sacks and whatever, however many, that's 5 or 6 years with us.
So as you can see, Randy Starks was the best player on that unit outside of maybe Cam Wake at that time, which we'll talk about in a bit, of course. Oh, yeah. And then, of course, the final honorable mention, I guess you could call it. It depends how would you guys line up these defensive tackles, by the way. I'm going to mention Zach Sealer here in a second. So Nnamdi Suh, Christian Wilkins, Tim Bowens, Zach Sealer, Randy Starks. Give me your top 2 in the chat below. Would love to hear it. Also, by the way, I saw in last episode, somebody said Tua second. So we had a Tua vote.
Oh, okay.
At the quarterback position.
I think I had Chad Pennington. Who did you end up taking?
I didn't commit to one.
You copped out between Tua and Tannehill?
I think I picked Tannehill after all was said and done, but I don't actually remember. Yeah. All right, Zach Sealer still playing for the team, of course. Last year was a forgettable season, but the year prior was absolutely magnificent, playing alongside Calais Campbell. The year before that, he was playing alongside Christian Wilkins. So, Sealer, we'll see what happens this year. If it's another down year, you could say he needs somebody to play alongside to be great, and that's fine. Some guys do. Sam Darnold didn't magically become a Super Bowl winning quarterback just with the same team he had with the Jets, right? Sometimes you need some guys around you. Right. He has 326 tackles already, 35.5 sacks, 16 passes defensed. And then a few interceptions, a defensive touchdown, yada, yada, yada. 6 seasons with the team at this point. I believe drafted or undrafted and signed with the Ravens. He started with the Ravens. Comes down here. And honestly...
On the waiver wire, too.
He came down on a waiver wire. That's right. I can't think of a better waiver wire steal.
No, good luck finding one.
We'll talk about Jordan Brooks later. Maybe him, but I mean...
Yeah, but I mean, you look, 35.5 sacks for a player that doesn't play the edge.
Yeah.
He's
so disruptive in the middle. It's stupid.
I mean, even when Wilkins was here, Wilkins played the edge when they went to 3 down linemen, and Sealer was in the middle a lot of the times, right? So 35.5 sacks for a player that plays exclusively versus centers and guards and gets double teamed is insane.
I really, my hope for him this season is that Grant, Phillips, Biggers, they're all here a second year. We didn't take any defensive tackles in the draft, so it's you 4.
Yeah, and what a hell of a 4! Like that's not a criticism.
It's you 4. So I hope the other 3 who are in their second year now know enough. I know it's a new defense, but they've been in an NFL system at least. And I just hope that Sealer is able to coach less, play more.
Yeah.
Because he is what helps Chop Robinson get better. He'll be what helps Trey Moore potentially be good. Yep. And Jacob Rodriguez and Kyle Lewis and Jordan Brooks. He's gonna help all of those guys be good if he can himself be as disruptive as he's been in the past.
Yeah, and more specifically, and probably more importantly, he'll help the cornerbacks.
Yeah,
kind of hide them a little more because they won't have to cover for as long. Hopefully,
I think there's a stat out there somewhere that the most effective pass rush is the one up the middle. It's the one the quarterbacks know how to deal with the least. If you can get a pass rush up the middle, and Tom Brady was notoriously bad at reacting to this, but if you can get a pass rush up the middle, most quarterbacks, sans maybe Rodgers, are going to absolutely collapse.
And Malik Willis is really good at that too.
Yeah, well, Malik Willis is a Hall of Famer and Aaron Rodgers is a nobody. So obviously,
I'm just saying we got the better quarterback now.
Aaron, I wish Aaron's off the field stuff was just kept off the field. Like, this is the time where I hate having the internet.
Yeah,
and I know it's completely off topic, but he's such a good player, and it's so sullied by all the other stupid shit. Anyways, that's my TED talk. Zach Sealer, Randy Starks, Tim Bowens, Christian Wilkins, Nnamdi Kongsu. Give us your top 2. Give us your top 3 if you're having a hard time with it. But those are the guys we chose at defensive tackle, and I feel pretty good about it.
Yeah, agreed. I think those are the right names. It's just a matter of who you put ahead of who.
Yeah. Right. Over a 35-year period, I can say that we've had way better defensive tackles than we've had wide receivers.
You know what? I would agree with that. I think that's a valid statement.
The receivers were so hard. And I know Duper and Clayton were on there, but they only played into our time period for like 2 years. Right. They were 80s guys, really.
Yeah.
What do you say we get into edge rushers where we only have 2 names?
The only 2 that matter.
It was the easiest. Like this was the easiest position.
This was the easiest, of all of the entire team.
The names are obvious to any Dolphins fans. It's Jason Taylor and Cameron Wake.
Mm-hmm.
Jason Taylor, absolute stud his entire career. We're going to ignore the fact that he played for the Jets for a season, okay? Just ignore it. Forget about it. Ironically enough, the only picture I have with him is when he was in a Jets uniform, and I fucking hate every second of that.
Do you really?
Yeah, because I was at a Jets Dolphins game and he came around. It was the final game of the year. Anyways, Cameron Wake came to us out of the Canadian League. You could argue the most successful Canadian League pickup of all time.
Probably the only successful. I think there was a cornerback for Seattle. I think it's it.
Let's start with Jason. Hall of Fame career. Brother-in-law to Zach Thomas. 131 sacks. His son is now in the NFL. Mason Taylor plays for the
Playing
Jets.
for the Jets, sadly. Yep.
46 forced fumbles, 8 interceptions. Hall of Fame in 2017, 2006 Defensive Player of the Year, 6-time Pro Bowler, 3-time All-Pro. Josh, I mean, what more is there to say?
Nothing. There's nothing. That
ring
right there.
There he is.
Framed and signed. It's the only one I have.
Ring of Honor.
These are all like, that's Marino and he signed that.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. But
I know on the last show, I was like, hey, I have Marino and Marino.
Marino.
I need to get somebody else.
Yeah, over there I have Xavien Howard, Tua, Waddle, and Marino.
I definitely need to diversify my background imagery.
You know what? Yeah. It's not bad. But Jason Taylor, look, honestly, synonymous. When he is forever and will ever and will forever be in the conversation when anything is talked about the edge rush, the edge position. Greatest defensive player in franchise history. I think that goes defensive player, not edge, greatest defensive player in franchise history, in my opinion. Dominated for how many years? 10, 11, 12.
12-ish years.
Yeah. Dominated every year with speed, length, and IQ. He would beat you in every single phase, and it was a joy to watch. It genuinely was. And there are days where I'm sitting outside or getting ready for bed or doing whatever, and I'm like, you know what? I'll pull up just old stats or old highlights of Jason Taylor and salivate.
What makes his rise to greatness so great is that I have a scouting report up, and I'll read some snippets from it in a second. 3rd round pick, called too small, and a late developer in the 97 NFL draft. The scouting consensus was, I quote, a tweener, too small to play defensive end, limited coverage skills for linebacker, best suited as a situational pass rusher. Nailed it.
Yeah, boy, that guy really crushed that one, didn't he? Sheesh.
That was the consensus. I was just reading the consensus, like a scouting report. So he just defied the odds, man. He 3rd round picks aren't expected to make the Hall of Fame.
Was it the University of Miami, right?
Akron.
Wait, why do I have? Oh, I'm thinking of. Never mind. Sorry.
It's okay. I wouldn't have known if I didn't look it up.
Akron. That's right. Yep.
But that's probably another reason why he was so low, third round. I mean, he's coming out of Akron, who
Nothing like
how many
Ohio.
how many NFL players do you know coming out of Akron?
Quite a few, actually. I can name one.
Me too. Me too. So greatest Dolphins defensive player in all time, potentially. I know there's early days guys that the old timers will yell at us for.
Yeah,
And
of course.
we're talking 90s, 2000s, 2010s guys. So stick with us. 1990
And
2025.
Yeah.
35 years of Dolphins football. Speaking of the 2010s, let's talk about Cameron Wake.
Loved it.
Cameron Wake came in 2009, played with us till 2018, latter half of his career, though lots of injuries. So his stats are more significant if you think about that, because the last 2 years of his career, he didn't really play much. 98 sacks, 33 forced fumbles, 5-time Pro Bowler, my man, 3-time All-Proer. Can you tell me what round he was drafted in?
I sure can.
What round was that?
I'm looking it up right now.
It's in your notes, bro. He was undrafted.
He was undrafted.
Undrafted CFL player, college or Canadian Football League. For those of you who are not familiar with the CFL,
Out of Penn
know if
State?
it's still around.
Was it Penn State?
Penn State. Yep.
Yeah. Yep.
He went undrafted out of Penn State in 2008, 2007. I think it was 7. I think it was the same year that we drafted Jarek Odrick.
I think it was 7. And then didn't he go to like the Ravens practice, and was it the Ravens?
Oh. We seem to pick up a lot of Ravens players, so I could see that. Yeah. Goes and plays in the CFL, which I don't even know if the CFL is still around anymore. I think what you put here is perfect for him. Most relentless pass rusher of the 2010s. Quarterbacks hated playing against him.
He was a menace.
Tom Brady hated playing against him. It was our only claim to fame against the Patriots and Tom Brady was that Cam Wake was about to roll your quarterback over, guaranteed. I don't remember the exact numbers, man, but I think he had a sack record against Brady. Like every time they played, he would get a sack or something like that. Yeah.
New York Giants. He signed with the New York Giants after going undrafted in 2005.
Oh, wow. Way earlier than I thought. Yeah. So he didn't make it he played in the CFL for 4 years before he came?
Yep.
3 years?
So
4 years?
He was with them briefly in that offseason and then released and then eventually went to the BC Lions in the CFL and tore it up.
I think he won MVP or some shit like that, too.
Yeah, and he still holds like sack records and stuff for the CFL, or if they're still around.
Yeah, I don't know if they are. Yeah, what more is there to say about Cameron Wake, man? I long for the days of another Jason Taylor or Cameron Wake. Like, we haven't had a pass rusher of that significance in so long.
It's gonna be Trey Moore. I'm kidding.
Hopefully. I mean, he's being undervalued, right? He's not drafted very highly. He's being seen as a small guy who may not be a good fit at defensive end. Like the storyline's the same, but is the outcome going to be the same?
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah.
But you know what I think I loved the most about Cam Wake, Jason Taylor, and one of the linebackers that we'll talk about here in a second is that irregardless of whatever year they got a big contract, like these guys never stopped working. They were students of the game. They were, the guys that held the locker rooms together. They were the guys that players look up to. They were the guys that set the tone. They were the gentlemen that were the first in the building and the last to leave. And you could see, look at their stats and look what they had to go through to get into the league. They did it unconventionally in some cases, in Cameron Wake's case, through the CFL. And as soon as they were granted an opportunity, they took the bull by the horns and they changed the face of a franchise in their own right. And it's incredible.
Is there anybody we're missing? Tell us in the comments if there's anybody we're overlooking. I would be hard pressed for anybody to argue a better duo of pass rushers here in Dolphins history, at least over the last 35 years. But there's definitely potential that we're missing somebody. So hit us up in the comments below. Who are your top edge rushers for the Dolphins over the last 35 years? But speaking of guys who are hard workers and maybe not the most athletic people in the world, but just got to where they were through pure grit and determination. How about our boy Zach Thomas, man? Zach Thomas finally into the Hall of Fame 2024. I so badly wanted to go to that induction ceremony, dude, but that was the year I got married. So
I mean,
couldn't.
I don't know what would have been more enjoyable, but you made a choice.
Ironically enough, he got inducted into the Hall of Fame the week before I got married. So I was like, there was 0% chance. At least if it were like far apart, maybe I can make it work, right? I'm going to head over to Ohio for a bit. But no, that wasn't going to happen. He finally gets into the Hall of Fame 2024, 7-time Pro Bowler, 5-time All-Pro, 1,700 tackles. Brian Urlacher himself, when he was inducted to the Hall of Fame, said, yeah, Zach should have got in before me.
Crazy.
Like, absolute insane numbers over his 11-year career with the Dolphins. And
the tackle numbers are I had to like triple check.
It's what is that? How many is that over year? He played 11 years. He has 1,734 tackles. That's insane.
Well, it's a little bit less than 173
a year.
Yeah. Well,
oh yeah, you're right.
10,
yeah.
right?
1,734 divided by 11 is no, not 111. Okay, 157 tackles this season.
Wild.
It's so crazy. And I think he was a fan favorite easily. 54 jerseys are still worn to almost every game.
I have 2 of them in my closet right over here. He's my favorite player of all time.
It's one of the only jerseys I have.
He's my favorite player, not of all time for Miami. He's my favorite player of all time. And it's not even close.
Same here. He just was another man. Him and Jason. It's so funny that they ended up being
so cool
brother-in-laws because they both came in with the same story. They're undersized. They don't have the athleticism.
Now, refresh my memory. Did Zach marry Jason's sister? Or did Jason marry Zach's sister?
Jason married Zach's sister.
That's what it was. Okay.
Yeah. So just another underdog story. Even more of an underdog story than Jason, though, because Zach was, what, a 5th-round pick?
I believe so, yeah, out of Texas Tech.
Out of Texas Tech. Really, I think was told by pretty much every team he talked to that he was too small to play linebacker. He just didn't care. He didn't care. He put up the same numbers as Urlacher and Ray Lewis, the big 3 at the time. If you were alive during that time,
what an era!
All that was ever talked about was the big 3 linebackers: Urlacher, Thomas, and Lewis. He put up same, if not better, numbers than those 2, and was significantly smaller than them.
Yeah, significantly.
Yeah. I think Zach came in at 5'9 3/4 or some shit like that.
Yeah. And Urlacher, 6'1".
Ray Lewis was 6'1". I think Ray Lewis was 6'2". Yeah. So like
that.
Yeah. But I think the thing that fans loved about him, so it was just the heart and soul, man. He never missed a game. He never missed a snap. He missed plays, but like not off the field, but he made mistakes, right? He wasn't perfect, but he would come back the very next play and make a play.
Force a fumble, right?
Right.
Get a sack. Yeah.
I got burnt. I'm gonna make a pick on the next play, right?
And he wore I loved it with the
neck roll.
Yeah, the neck collar, or whatever.
Famous. Yeah. With the eye black, which wasn't, it was heavily worn, but like he just made it look good. I don't know, man. He's all-time favorite player. I'll never have. I don't think I'll ever have a favorite player more that I love more than him.
And just a nod to our maybe younger fans or fans that are excited about this most recent draft class. That's why a lot of us were so excited about Jacob Rodriguez.
Oh, baby.
Texas Tech linebacker, or number 10, has a mustache, just plays with the same mentality and the same tenacity and put up really not similar numbers, but the same numbers across the board, filled up the tackles, filled up the sacks, filled up the interceptions, can cover. There's a little bit of a shorter guy, was a mentor to our now rookie. Just really cool story.
Our defense was so good then too. We're going to talk about even more people from this. Like most of our defensive players are from the 95 to 2005 range because our defense in that 10 years was so good.
Yeah, it was. It really was.
So many Hall of Famers. There's so many good players. Like, fantastic. By the way, that's another thing I forgot to mention was I wanted to talk rookie numbers. So maybe we'll talk about that at the end of the show because the rookies did pick their numbers. So I definitely wanted to chat about that. We could always do it next week too.
Sure.
Yeah, but the Jacob Rodriguez thing is such a good pull. Another linebacker out of Texas Tech. This one's not being called too small though. But like it's just so reminiscent of Zach. And then Zach mentors him, of course. So Just such a good fit. I don't understand people wanting him to wear 54. Like, why would you want to
No,
wear a number that's
no,
already so iconic? Like,
no. See, because then you're putting unnecessary pressure on the kid. It doesn't
right.
need to. And I love the fact that I was really hoping he would get his college number.
And he did. Yeah, he's
And
wearing number 10.
Tyreek who?
Yeah, Jacob will be wearing number 10.
Mhm.
And I just love them coming in and making a name for making their own number famous.
Yeah.
Right. Like, yeah, we'll remember Tyreek to be as being number 10 for sure. But
course.
like, we could also remember Jacob Rodriguez as being number 10 if he's as good as we all think he is.
Mhm.
I know he's as good as we think he is.
Oh,
We
he's
can't be
already
wrong about this one.
We can't be.
Yeah.
He's got a mustache.
Right.
Damn it. If that doesn't tell you he's going to be good, I don't know what does.
Like, that's the end all be all there.
Don't look at his college stats, which are spectacular. The dude has a mustache.
It's true. So we had a little bit of back and forth.
Yeah, so so we picked 3 linebackers, right? Yeah, 3 linebackers.
3 linebackers on 2 and 3. We weren't entirely sure on.
No, Zach Thomas was unanimous.
Zach Thomas was unanimous. Let me read off the other 4 names so that you all can start thinking in your minds who would you put in your top 3 linebackers, and then we'll tell you kind of where we landed ish because we didn't actually put it in stone. Again,
hey, it's our rules.
Right? Our rules.
If you don't like it, so, subscribe and just listen.
The 4 names were Junior Seau, of course, world famous for being a Charger, but played for Miami for 2 years. Channing Crowder, who now still talks about the Miami Dolphins as an analyst and podcaster, similar to us, except more successful. Brian Cox, who was an absolute just monster on the field. The stories of this guy are insane. He was like a 1970s football player stuck in the 90s. He was so crazy.
Spectacular.
And then Jordan Brooks, who is still on the team, has only been with the team for 2 years. But when we read you the stat line, you're going to be like, "Oh yeah, that's crazy,
that's wild."
Yeah. That cray cray, that is cray cray. So who do you want to start with? Do you want to start with Junior?
I think let's go right down the list. The way it is, it makes for a good conversation because I think Junior and Channing were kind of who we were talking about.
Yeah,
Cox and Brooks were the other 2, so I think it's grouped.
The funny part about Junior and Brooks, though, is similar numbers for the same length of time. Junior only played for us for 2 years. Brooks has played for us for 2 years. And if you look at their numbers side by side, they're pretty damn similar.
Actually, yeah, you're not wrong. Actually,
so Junior Seau 308 tackles to Jordan Brooks 315. Junior Seau's 5.5 sacks to Jordan Brooks 6.5 sacks. And then Junior had 2 interceptions. Brooks has yet to record an interception, but has 9 passes defense and a forced fumble. Yeah. I mean, when you're being compared to a Hall of Fame linebacker of Junior Seau's pedigree, yeah. I think you would be pretty pumped about that.
Yeah, and you know what? It's funny because it's very easy to forget this kind of stuff, right? Because you and I talk about it quite often, and we did quite often last year. You more than I, but I was very much in the same conversation from time to time, where Jordan Brooks is kind of looked at not so fondly at times by Dolphins fans for a myriad of reasons. One is, well, he can't cover. Well, no shit. He's not a coverage linebacker. But then you have these kind of fun shows that you and I were looking forward to, right? Let's just talk about some old fun players, some new players, and see how they fit in. And you compare Jordan Brooks' 2-year stats to a lifetime Hall of Famer, Junior Seau, and his 2 years with Miami when he was not past his prime all that much. I mean, he's still
because he was a first ballot Hall of Famer, which means he didn't retire till 2010, and he played with us in 2005.
So you're like, oh, you know what? Brooks ain't that bad actually, and it was these are fun exercises to do.
May he rest in peace, by the way. Junior Seau's gone way too soon. But yeah, so Junior Seau, obvious why he's on the list, even as only a 2-year player here in Miami. It's just the name recognition for those. I mean, Josh and I are in high school at this time, so the name recognition is huge. The player was so good playing alongside Zach, which he played alongside Zach for both years. It was Junior Seau and Zach Thomas in the middle of the field.
Jesus, terrifying.
Absolutely insane. And then Jordan Brooks still playing today. We'll talk a little bit more about him in a second, but the other guy we were arguing alongside Seau, and I made the argument because I felt like Seau only played for us for 2 years. There's an argument to be made that Channing Crowder should be mentioned here. whether or not you like the man or not, I know he rubs a lot of people the wrong way. He's very Omar Kelly-ish when it comes to that. But he did have a pretty decent career with Miami. 5 years for us. He was a third-round pick by the Dolphins. I'm sorry, 6-year starter. 470 tackles, 2.5 sacks, 3 forced fumbles, and an interception. They're not bad numbers.
No, and 3 fumble recovers. Yeah. And played at University of Florida. So Florida kid, right? In college, had a hell of a college career, came out and was tough, physical, was the exact type of middle linebacker. Excuse me one second.
Bless you.
Excuse me. Thank you. And was about as reliable as a run defender as you can get.
Yeah.
Just had a nose for the football, and Channing Crowder did. And, there are some of his takes now that he's in the media that rub some folks the wrong way, me included. But I go back and watch highlights of this era of like 2005, 2006, 2007, 2008, and he's everywhere I'm not looking at his highlights, and he's everywhere, and it's awesome. It's really cool.
Props to him, man, because he came in. It's a rough time for him to come in, right? Junior leaves.
Yeah.
Zach is on his way out. You can tell, right? Zach's in his final couple years. Channing's expected to come in, be like the savior, right? He's going to be the next Zach Thomas. We're going to keep it running. Linebackers are going to be great. He wasn't great. He's not a Hall of Famer. He never will be. He's probably not even in the Ring of Honor. But I think given the context of the time, the pressure he was under, the expectations by the fan base, I think he did fairly well for a third-round pick.
100%. And you talked about it earlier. I forgot which player it was that you mentioned it, but he was playing like a generation too late, right?
Yeah.
I mean, because he was very much that old school middle linebacker. I'm going to rip your face off. And in the words of Man Campbell, I'm going to bite your kneecaps, and I'm not going to care. And I'm not going to take myself out of the game. There was a story that he tells where I'll use the political correct term, used the bathroom on the field because he didn't want to take himself out of a big game. And just,
disgusting,
and didn't care. And he was just like, whatever, I got to pee. Let's go. Right. And just went about his business, like middle of a game. And, it's just that mentality where it's like, it's football or nothing. And, you hear it's real cool if you go back and you go on YouTube and type in like Channing Crowder Dolphins stories and just listen to him talk about some of this. It's awesome. It's really cool.
Yeah, that era was so fun. This is why we have to do episodes like this, though, because the modern era has been so not fun.
Well, understatement. Yeah.
Next up on the list was Brian Cox, dude. This guy, if like we're talking like guys who made the biggest impact on me personally, just from I love to tune in and watch this dude play standpoint, Brian freaking Cox, bro. Like anytime he was on the field, you guarantee there's going to be a collision that makes you go, oh, every time. He also had the big neck thing on, right? He's got eye black going like,
oh, it's like he just dipped his hands in it.
Like he dipped his hands in, just all over his face. Like if you're a running back trying to hit the hole and Brian Cox is there, you done shit yourself because this man is about to kill you.
Channing Crowder.
Absolute insanity, bro.
Yeah. I mean, three-time Pro Bowler with Miami, right?
Yeah, 3-time Pro Bowler, nearly 30 sacks, 11 picks, 8 forced fumbles. Only played for us for 4 years. I swear it felt longer.
Like 14 years.
Yeah, I mean, we were kids, so I guess that's why. But I think what you put here for why we selected him, the most intimidating and physical linebacker of the early 90s is just the only way to describe him.
Yeah, and I say this with reverence and the utmost respect to the player that I'm going to say here. But he was the Ray Lewis before Ray Lewis. Right? Less talented, not as productive, whatever the case. But just from an intimidation standpoint, like when you think of Ray Lewis, I shit my pants. And that's the kind of vibe and mentality and leadership quality that Brian Cox brought to Miami for 4 years you said that he was here, 91 to 95, I think, right?
6 seasons. Sorry,
Six.
yeah,
I
I don't
can.
know
I
or
can.
5 seasons. I don't know how to count. 5 seasons.
Yeah. I can
Math is
definitely.
hard.
It's hard stuff, guys.
By the way, his second year in the league, he had 14 sacks.
Crazy.
He won Defensive Player of the Year
Insane.
in his sophomore season.
Was that what did he get? He wasn't drafted by Miami, right?
He was. Yeah.
He was.
Mm-hmm.
When did we take him?
I don't know that information. Hold on. Brian Cox. Let's check out if ESPN has it. Maybe was he undrafted? That'd be so wild if he was undrafted. Let's see. 3-time Pro Bowler.
It's great content, guys.
Fifth round pick. Sorry about that.
Out of Western Illinois, 5th round pick 113.
He went on to play till 2002. He played for 12 years.
That's wild.
He never had another season as successful as his sophomore year where he had 14 sacks, probably because of his aggressive style. But yeah, played 12 seasons in total, 51.5 sacks in his career. Now he coaches. So
that's incredible. What an incredible player.
Yeah. Absolutely insane. Sorry for the delay in time there.
Oh,
While we looked him up.
And you guys tell us in the chat, right, or in the comment section. Right? So I think it's fair to say Zach Thomas unanimous all selection list. But so we had 3 slots for linebacker. So if you had to choose 2 more players between Junior Seau, Channing Crowder, Brian Cox, Jordan Brooks, or insert other name between 1990 and the present, who would you guys pick? Let us know. We love to get different names that we might not have thought of because there's so many players that play all these positions. It's very easy to forget some.
Yeah, for sure. Let us know. All right, Jordan Brooks, you want to talk about him, or we did enough of
We
Jordan
did.
Brooks?
I mean, Jordan Brooks we all know who he is. Cover the basics.
I'm excited to get into the defensive backs. That's the only reason I ask.
Yeah, just quickly cover the basics. I think he's due some respect.
So the big story with him, and I think the amazing story about Jordan Brooks, is that he's cut by Seattle, right? Their starting linebacker. By the way, Tyrell Dodson, who also plays for us, also cut by Seattle.
Was also their starting linebacker.
Now, we cannot judge them too harshly on this because they won a Super Bowl just a year later. So clearly, Mike McDonald has an idea or two about what he wants at linebacker, and these two just didn't fit the bill. We picked them up in waivers, right? And now Dotson hasn't been as good as Brooks, but Brooks has been an absolute stud.
Savage.
And I'm not always his biggest proponent. I think that he does get beat a lot when he shouldn't, but the people around him have not been the best. So he's out there.
The coaching staff, this is something I'll die on. I got to say it. The coaching staff has not put him in favorable positions at times.
Even if they did, though, look at the people playing around him. I mean, he's out there. Similar, we saw it with Xavien Howard. We saw it with Minkah Fitzpatrick. We've seen it with Zach Sealer. Like when you're playing, when there's 4 good players and 7 bad ones, you're just like trying to do whatever you can,
exactly,
to survive essentially. But listen, 2025 first team All-Pro, led the league in tackles last year, was a team captain last year. He had 183 tackles, which is the 4th most in a single season by any Dolphin. I imagine Zach is up there too. It's incredible what he's done. Like just think about how defeating it is to get fired from a job if you've ever been fired. To then go and be one of the best players at your position the very next, 2-3 weeks later. Like, the mental fortitude you need to have to do that, first of all. And then just the pure ability and intelligence you need to have to be able to go to an entirely new system and 3 weeks in already start being the best linebacker on the field. I don't always give him his flowers, but I will here because I think given the circumstances he's had to deal with, I mean, we heard it from the corner we signed last year who was talking about how he came in and he was like, you're trying to get up to speed as quick as you can, but it's just not that easy. Rasul Douglas, right? And then when Rasul finally got up to speed, he starts making a lot of plays. Like Brooks did it in half the time that Rasul did. Just incredible.
It's wild. So I don't know how accurate this list is. Because again, it's a ChatGPT pool. So I apologize for you stat heads if this is incorrect, but I pulled a single season tackle leader, like most single season tackles in Miami Dolphins history. According to this list, Jordan Brooks is number 1 at 183. Then it's Zach Thomas is 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7.
Oh
and
my
then
God.
Jordan Brooks last year in 2024 is number 8 with 143. And then number 9 is Reshad Jones in 2015 with 135. And number 10 is another linebacker who I thought about putting on this list, Carlos Dansby. In 2012 with 100.
Carlos Dansby. That's a pull from Arizona. We took him, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. So props to Jordan Brooks. I don't think he didn't make our. Well, we didn't actually give a top 3. Actually, our top 3 on our show notes. Zach Thomas, Junior Seau, and Brian Cox were our top 3 on our show notes, leaving Channing Crowder and Jordan Brooks just on the outside looking in. But Jordan Brooks is still playing for us, so he has opportunity to make this list again next year.
And I just want to call one more thing out about Jordan Brooks before we move on to cornerbacks. I'm excited to see what he does, assuming the 2 linebackers that we just drafted, who we are both, and not just us, but national media, national pundits, and other teams are both all raving about both.
We're getting so many flowers
Rodriguez
for our draft. It makes me nervous, but also excited.
Imagine those 3 linebackers pan out. Well, both of them pan out and play alongside Jordan. But Jordan Brooks will have phenomenal talent around him at the linebacker position, and I'm scared for the league to see if that's the truth.
Do you think? And we'll talk about this in another episode. But real quick answer with the. Have you heard this concept of the big nickel they're running now?
Oh yeah.
Where it's like they're just playing bigger nickel corners. It's essentially a safety playing corner.
It's a third safety playing.
Yeah. I think Kyle Lewis is going to be there, man.
Bro, that's what Kyle Lewis will be for us.
Like Jason Marshall,
a third safety that drops down and plays linebacker.
Yeah, I think Marshall's going to fight for an outside spot, and I think Lewis has every opportunity. Like he's going to have the opportunity to play every defensive snap because he can line up at linebacker, safety, and big nickel. And it's just like, if he pans out, that will be such a huge boon for our defense.
Imagine it. I mean, let's I don't want to dwell on it because we can do a whole show on this.
We're probably going to, yeah.
But if like Rodriguez pans out and Lewis pans out, playing alongside Jordan Brooks, who if he continues to play in the manner in which he's been playing for us over 2 years, I in no small way think that's the best linebacker group in the league, and I don't think it's close if the rookies pan out.
Yeah. The thing is we both wanted them to get more. You know what? Let's save that for another show.
Yep.
Let's move on to the cornerback position.
Rabbit holes,
safety position. 2 of my favorite positions because, again, we're going to go back to 95 to 2005. Josh and I are 10 years old, sitting on the couch, watching the Miami Dolphins, watching Dan Marino at quarterback. But half the time, Dan Marino wasn't the most exciting player on the field because the defensive unit we had was freaking stupid. Okay, let me just read who the 2 starting corners were. Let's go to 2000 because I know Surtain came in a little late. And the starting safety, Sam Madison, Patrick Surtain, and Brock Marion were the 3 of the 4 starting players at defensive back for us.
Wild.
It was absolutely insane. It was so fun to watch. Sam and Pat, I think, are so underrated.
Oh yes.
They dominated opposing wide receivers. And then Brock was just there to clean up the mess, man.
Brock was there to take people's fucking heads off.
Yeah, like this was a time where you didn't get penalized for knocking the shit out of a receiver who was trying to catch the ball. So Brock knocked the shit out of some people who were trying to get that ball. Like,
he ate. He definitely ate.
Like, congratulations, you got past Sam. Brock's waiting for you, bro.
You almost wish you didn't get past Sam. Right?
Like, you get killed on the backside. No big deal. This was such a fun time period. So, of course, the first 2 corners we're going to talk about. And if we didn't have these 2 as our first 2 corners, Dolphins fans across the world would absolutely destroy
we're frauds.
us. Yeah. Sam Madison at 1, Patrick Surtain at 2. I can't believe Pat played so short amount of time for us. 5
Dude,
seasons there.
But he's
It
one of
felt
the
like longer.
Yeah, you said that about Brian Cox. It's the same. You just feel like he's been around forever. You know?
Yeah. He played 2000 to 2004. I could have sworn it was the whole 95 to 2005.
Right.
You know, his son, of course, is in the league now and is one of the best corners in the league, plays for the Broncos. Sam Madison, who was actually coaching for us for a short time under Mike McDaniel, is number 1, though. He played, 8-9 seasons with us, 28 interceptions. Holy crap. 400 tackles, 100 pass deflections, made it to the Pro Bowl 4 times, and was a 2-time All-Pro.
Don't glaze over that 100+ pass deflections.
100+, dude.
Think about that number, guys.
I don't think that'll ever be matched again, right? There's no way.
6 years. He had and I did 100 plus.
Pass deflections.
I don't even know what the number is.
Yeah. 100, that's insane. I'm going to look it up just so we know it. But listen, we'll talk about him and Surtain side by side, I think, because they played together. They were dangerous.
They were side by side, so it's only right.
Surtain, in half the time, also had 28 interceptions.
Hey, dude, Surtain was a nightmare. He was a menace.
350 tackles for a corner. Went to 3 Pro Bowls, 2 All-Pro selections.
Yeah, they were both 2-time All-Pros. They were both lockdown elite coverage cornerbacks. Madison had 1 more Pro Bowl, right? But just a dominant duo.
103 pass deflections in his career, 77 for us.
Okay. Yeah.
Played 3 years with the Giants after he left Sam Madison.
Sorry for the mistype. Okay.
That's perfectly fine. Still, he had 103 in his career.
70. How many? 78? You said for a
77 for us.
77. Yeah. Still. Yeah. Okay, I don't know. Quick math. What's, divide that by 6.
Well, and if you want to make it even crazier, they didn't start recording pass deflections as a stat until 1999. Okay. So the first 2 years of his career, they didn't record pass deflections. So who knows how many he really had.
So let's round it up to 80.
Sure.
Right? Do the math. How many do you get a year? On average. How many do you average a year? 1,
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 years he played for the Dolphins. So probably 9 a year.
Yeah. Call it 9 a year, which is bananas.
Yeah. Crazy. Him and Surtain, man, if you were not around for that time period, I know we've said that quite a bit. Even if you were around for that time period, go watch the friggin' highlights from, let's say, the 2000 season, Marino's last year. Just check out how Surtain and Madison and Brock Marion, like just the synergy those guys had. I don't even remember who the other safety was, to be honest, because it didn't matter.
No, it was me.
It was you. The other 2 corners on this list are more modern era, and let me tell you, not as spicy as the previous 2, but still pretty spicy.
Hey, yeah, they deserve their flowers.
We have had some damn good corners on this team, and we can't go any further without talking about our boy Xavien Howard. Yep. And then somebody you all may have forgotten about, but his wife will make you remember.
Oh boy,
because she was a fiery one, and that, of course, is Brent Grimes. Xavien Howard played for the team from 2016 to 2022. Brent Grimes played for us from 2013 to 2015. So Grimey left, and Xavien Howard came in. Xavien Howard had 29 interceptions, 100+ pass deflections, and went to the Pro Bowl 4 times. He led the NFL in interceptions twice, including the 2020 season, which was an absolute all-time incredible season for a corner. They were talking about, like, how much money is this going to cost the Dolphins, right? Because X was on the final year of his deal.
We refused to resign him.
And we didn't resign him. But nobody else did either.
Was it 19 interceptions? I mean, am I remembering that right?
Had to be. I think it was I think it was 10 plus.
It was something crazy. I'll look it up. Go ahead and talk about it.
Yeah. So X to many fans is probably the most successful player you've seen in recent memory. He was well known for
10.
Was it 10?
Yeah.
well known for being able to lock down one side of the field while everybody was going on and on and on about Revis Island. We had our own Revis Island, Xavien Howard, that really nobody was talking about. It was very under the radar. It wasn't until the 2018 season where he really had any national recognition at all because he led the league in interceptions. So like people had to recognize him at that point. But I mean, he made it hell for corner for wide receivers. What's that?
Was he out of Baylor or Oregon? I think it was Baylor. Ooh, actually, don't quote me.
As a non-college football watcher, I never know the answer to these questions.
Sorry, didn't mean to put you on the spot.
That's okay. But I think, what was so impactful about watching him is that he just never let his receivers run their route.
No, he ran it for him.
Yeah. Like either he was sticking you at the line and you weren't freaking going nowhere, or he was so aggressive in those first 5 yards that you were already completely off your route by the time you got past him. And it was just like the quarterback was like, well, that guy's done, right? That guy's done.
Yeah. And out of Baylor, he was a second-round pick, pick number 38.
Pick number 38.
Mm-hmm.
Crazy. And then, of course, Brent Grimes, who came over from the Atlanta Falcons, my friend, came over, played for us for 3 seasons, had 13 picks, 163 tackles, and 2 touchdowns. He, again, during a time, 2013 to 2015, where Joe Philbin was here, we weren't really seeing much success out of the Miami Dolphins. But Brent Grimes was a very lone bright spot on that team. 3-time Pro Bowler. All 3 seasons he played with Miami, he made the Pro Bowl. Second-team All-Pro. Honestly, he probably would have had way more time with the Dolphins if his wife didn't absolutely blow up his career.
Yeah. And he was a short guy too, which is what I think I liked most about it. He was 5'10", 185 pounds, but was doing like Odell Beckham style interceptions in the end zone.
Bro.
I mean,
he could jump so high.
It was like unnatural.
Yeah. It was like Tyreek. He was Tyreek on defense.
Yeah, exactly.
Like I mean, he's out there. He looks tiny. He looks real tiny even on TV. Like you're like, damn, that guy is small, right?
But he was
chop thin.
Him. He would chop you down.
But you would throw a jump ball to a 6'4" receiver, and Brent would be the one to come down with it.
Yep. Or you'd see Brent coming down into the hole or on the edge, right? With a running back running out to the outside of the line, and you're like, "There's no dude. That's LaDainian and Tomlinson.
Yeah,
there's no way." And then, bam, tackle.
One of my favorite things about him was his ability to knock the ball away at the last second. He would just wait for them to catch it and know that they're not actually going to catch this. Let's give them some false confidence here. They get it in their hands, and he's just like, pop.
Yep. He was fun, man. He was really fun. And admittedly, because we're an honest podcast, someone you thought about and someone that I totally fucking forgot about.
Hey, 4 really good corners, though. Let us know in the comments below if you have anybody else on your corner list.
I think I had Troy Vincent there, didn't I?
You had Troy Vincent. That's right. I couldn't remember who you had. Of course, Troy Vincent, the majority of his success came with the Eagles, not us, unfortunately. Jerk. But
selfish.
Yeah. But Sam Madison, Patrick Surtain, Xavien Howard, and Brent Grimes were our 4. Let us know who your 4 are, or even your top 1. I don't care. Just give me somebody. Give me a corner down below. All right, Josh, we have talked for a very long time already. So let's get to our final 2, the safeties. Over the best safeties over the last 35 years. I think this one's a no-brainer as well, similar to our edge rushers. It's Reshad Jones and Brock Marion, man. I don't think there's no other choice, right?
Not that I could come up with, at least. I mean,
like Minka's the only other one that I would consider, but he didn't have a lot of tenure with us, really.
But again, just like you said about Troy Vincent, most of his success came with Pittsburgh.
With the Steelers,
not Vincent, but
Troy Vincent, yeah. So Brock Marion, I believe, came to us. I'm going to start with him. I think he came over to us also from the Lions, similar to
don't quote me on that.
Nnamdi Kong-Su. Or he went to the Lions after us. Brock Marion most definitely played for the Lions. I just don't know if it was before or after us. 20 interceptions, 486 tackles, 2 defensive touchdowns, only played for us for 5 seasons. He made it to 3 Pro Bowls in those 5 seasons. He was a year 2000 All-Pro selection, and he was the NFL kickoff return yards leader in 1999. I honestly forgot he was a kick returner.
Same.
That's right. Playing QB Club 99. with Brock Marion back there taking
yeah.
taking the kick return.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. He was drafted by Dallas
Drafted by Dallas
in the 7th round
wow.
out of Nevada.
Wow. By the way, QB Club, what a game, right? N64.
So good, dude.
Brett Favre on it, back-to-back covers.
Mhm.
Crazy. 98 and 99.
Such a good game.
Classic. So many buttons, too. How did we do it when we were kids, man? There are buttons everywhere on those stupid controllers.
Yeah, I don't even know.
I can't function like that anymore.
Nope. I can barely use my mouse.
mean, we've talked a lot about Brock Marion already. He was part of the dangerous trio in the backfield there with Sam Madison and Patrick Surtain and Brock Marion. 7th round pick. Absolute steal of a success. And just really one of the most fun safeties I've ever watched play. Just incredible. Speaking of incredible, though, dude, we can't do this show without talking about Reshad Jones, a player whose career kind of unceremoniously came to an end, unfortunately. Similar to Xavien Howard, actually. Those two guys, I really feel like, how did those two guys not get another chance? Right? Like, how did Reshad Jones play 10 seasons for us, 9 seasons, whatever, have the stats that he had, and not get another chance?
Well,
it's crazy.
Did he not go to another team?
I don't think he did. So 21 interceptions in his career, but 776 tackles, man. 776. And that's not the kicker, though. The kicker is 11 forced fumbles. One of the hardest hitting ball hawk safeties. You don't get both usually. You get one or the other. He's a sledgehammer, or he's a ball hawk.
Yeah, or a big cornerback.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. 5-time Pro Bowler, man. Made it to 1 All-Pro selection, like 2010 to 2019. One of the lone bright spots of that time period.
Yep.
Was Reshad
we drafted
Jones.
him 2nd round out of Georgia.
That sounds right. Yep.
Yeah. And you were absolutely correct. He did not play for another NFL team after the Dolphins released him in 2020.
So crazy. So crazy.
Yeah, Reshad Jones, man, consistent. All you can say about him is he was consistent. When he was in the back, when he's your last line of defense, you were good,
Yeah, man. I just have such fond memories of him because those defenses, they just weren't it, man. He was like, to be as good as he was on a defense that didn't do much.
Yeah, it's questionable at best.
All the coaches he lived through, 2010 to 2019, that's 3-4 coaches.
More than that.
Cam Cameron, Joe Philbin,
Adam
Gase. So at least 3.
Yeah.
If not more.
And multiple GMs, right? Because it was Dennis Hickey. There was Tannenbaum in there somewhere. There was
Jeff Ireland was in there.
Ireland. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Crazy. But Reshad Jones, man, another really fun player to watch for the Miami Dolphins. So that'll do it, man. That's our all-time defensive unit for the Miami Dolphins over the last 35 years. Would love to get your take on any of these positions. Safety, we chose Reshad Jones and Brock Marion. Let us know who your top safeties in that time period were below. Maybe we're missing somebody. Maybe you are just a really big Minka fan. You think we should have put Minka on there. I don't know. Maybe Javon Holland?
Hey.
Maybe, you could put Holland on there for sure. So let us know in the comments below. Give us your all-time defensive roster. All right, Josh, that was so much fun, man. All-time offense, all-time defense in the books. I don't know what we're going to be talking about next time, but I think we already started to talk about it today. We're going to be talking, as the summer goes on, you'll get 1 show a week, and the 1 show a week will be jam-packed with Miami Dolphins news, whatever news is happening. And if there is no news happening, we'll make it up. We'll talk about rookies a lot.
Tons.
We have 11 undrafted free agents and 13 draft picks. That's 25 rookies to talk about.
And all of them at least most of them will see some sort of playing time. I can almost guarantee you.
Yeah. I see now why Sully wanted so many draft picks. But yeah. All right, man. Great show today. But that's all she wrote. So for Josh, a.k.a. Aqua Ace to my left, I'm Anthony Pinzone. We're at 199 subscribers. You could be number 200. Hit that subscribe button below and make it happen. But until next time, fins up, everybody.